My name is Kaia, and welcome to Launch Lab. I'm co-hosting this event tonight with Alix Sabatelli and my wife, Melissa Kaia. Just before I get into it and start introducing it, I just want to let everyone know that the call is being recorded. So just so you guys know that. And just to give you a quick outline of what we're looking to do tonight. And so the idea of this call is to really empower brand leaders who want to launch their own LifeWave business and reach team manager or higher. And we really want to create an environment that you guys aren't trying to do this by yourself, that you feel like you're part of a community and you can come ask questions, get the support that you need, and really be able to build your business. And in the future, we actually want to do a leadership lab. So then once you guys get to that level and you want to start beginning to support your team, that's going to take a whole other level of, leadership and training too. So we want to be there and help create that environment for you also. So just to give you a quick kind of overview of our structure for our calls on Wednesday here, we'll be doing these calls every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, or sorry, 7 p.m. Eastern, just to be clear, I apologize. And there'll be about 45 minutes. There's a hard stop on that because Alix has another call she jumps on, and we'll touch base on that. So the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, tonight we're going to kind of touch on the philosophy of how Melissa and Alix kind of approach their business and why it's really important to have a personal why while you're doing this. And then the next kind of 35 minutes, we have a bunch of questions that we weren't able to get to from last week. So we'll ask some of those questions. And then if you guys have any questions about your business at all, just throw them into the chat. I'll make sure that either Alix or Melissa or myself get them answered for you. And if we don't, we'll either reach out to you during the week or make sure that we get them answered next week. Okay. So just to jump into it, just a quick introduction. So for Melissa, if you guys don't know her, she kind of splits her time between Canada and Costa Rica, and she's now been with LifeWave for 3 months, and she's loving it. Alix has been with LifeWave for 3.5 years now, and I think she's probably more excited about it now than ever. She co-hosts this call with us on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then she also does another additional 2 calls on Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And these calls are specifically about X39, the product, and learning a little bit more about the business opportunity. So if you have people that really want to learn and, you're just getting into yourself, this is a great call to send people to, because Alix really knows her stuff when it comes to the X39. So why don't we jump into it? And Alix, I'll kind of toss this over to you first. Maybe you can, as I was mentioning, kind of talk about your philosophy about the business. I know this is really important for you. And then just understanding what is your personal why and how has that kind of shaped the way you've done your business?
Yeah, perfect. Will do. Thank you so much, Aaron, for that introduction. And again, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. Do ask your questions. We will grab them and save them. So my philosophy, I think it's kind of woven into pretty much all of my trainings. It's hard to not infuse my come from, as I call it, into everything that I do. And that really is to be in service to other people. I cannot offer a solution or sell anything or invite people into a business when I don't really know what they need and what they're looking for, or if they're even looking at all. So there's times when I can ride on my own enthusiasm and excitement, and I know they're excitable, and I know they're excited about health and wellness and such, and that can get me so far. But if I'm not really looking and listening for how I can serve this person with better health, specific issues that are going on, with things in their life that are going on, I don't really have anything to offer unless I know there's a doorway in, right? So that come from of service to others, I think, is really, really important too, because the energy of that means, well, shoot, I need to learn a lot about this product so that I know what I'm offering. I need to feel confident in what I'm offering. I need to have a sense of what this opportunity can be, regardless of what I want to do with it, so that I can pass that along and be listening for how I can serve the person with that. So again, in being in service to others, it leads to many other things. And as a philosophy in general, everything you do, everything you know, your spirit, your energy is infused in your communication, whether it's verbal or nonverbal, whether it's written or posted or in your picture or anything. you are unique, and and your belief and your come from, and that desire to serve will be felt. Now, if it's the other way around, granted, we all have needs, we all have desires, we want to get better, we want to be able to afford the product, we want to make some money, we want to change our lives. That come from is great too. And if it's not attached to the greater problem of, okay, these are my personal problems, I don't just need to take and keep and create for myself. I need to see that these are important things for me. This is part of my why. But, and and what's the bigger problem? How can I turn that into service? So you can just extend that out into, okay, well, I'm not going to get any of my needs met until I extend out something that's going to help other people. So that's probably the biggest philosophy, if you will, that I have is that how you do anything is how you do everything. The energy that you put into something is the energy that will be received by others. And so yes, there's many other pieces that I can definitely dive into. And I know we've got these calls that are going to be every week. So rather than talking the whole hour, I'll leave it at that.
And for you, just kind of touching on that, I know you feel the same way, Melissa, just about the service piece. How does that kind of fit into the way when you speak with people?
Is this for Melissa or for me?
Oh, sorry, for Melissa. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I thought that was a follow-up for Alix. I was like, oh, I'm curious.
Yeah. How does the service piece, like, how does that, touch when you're talking to people?
Yeah, I think what I'll speak to is my why, because that ties into how I am and lead from service and my philosophy around everything. So for me, I know my soul is here for expansion, for growth, and that's just the way that I'm oriented. And so when LifeWave came into my sphere just about 3 months ago, I was like, wow, this is pretty incredible. There are just, from my perspective, there's just a lot of people that need support and need help and are struggling in so many different ways. And so for me, it's really important for me to connect with the vision of the company, of the inventor, of the owner. And we have such a beautiful leader who is David Schmidt. And it was really important for me to drop into that. So I'm here and I love using all the different kinds of tools, whether it be the patches or other tools or meditation techniques, things like that, to support, from my perspective, this shift and evolution in consciousness. So that is where my why comes from. I'm here to support that. And I know that I'm here for that, to facilitate and support that. So these patches come in and play their role in that, because it's something else that I could offer to people in my treasure chest, in my big toolbox, and something that is very easy to use. There's not a huge learning curve. And also it's affordable and pretty quick, for the most part, results. There's a shift here. And so, yeah, so that's the service piece for me, is helping people to live their best life. I don't want to be on some mountain by myself. I want to be on the mountain with other people and find some other playmates with me to play in this game of life. So I want everybody to be living their best life and feeling their best. So this just made sense for me. And that's the energy that I lead from, that Alix spoke to. Like, everything that you say, everything that you share, everything that you post holds a frequency, holds an energy to it. And so I just practice, aligning myself to that vision, to my why, my multidimensional why, every single day. And before I talk to somebody, before I post something, before I reach out, I recenter myself, come back into my heart. And of course, the other why for me is that, because, we live mostly in Costa Rica, and then we go between Canada, is that freedom, and to make that income and to be able to live anywhere in the world and to be able to travel wherever my heart calls and wherever I desire. And we're living in a reality where we use money. So we need money to buy things, to do things. And so I love that additional piece, that we also can support people in an additional income stream as well, because people need support in that. And so I love that it funds that why for me as well, to be able to have location freedom and time freedom, and then also to be of service, to help people, empower people to feel their best. So that's my why in a nutshell, and where I come from sharing these patches. So
perfect. Beautiful. I love it. Well, let's dive into some of these questions. We have some of these from last week, and just a reminder, anybody in the chat, please drop in your questions, and we'll get to them if we have time here. But some people are kind of having a little bit of trouble when it comes to language about how can they speak about the patches when, especially specifically X39, when it comes to the compliance piece. Do either of you guys have some suggestions on this?
I do. I do, because this has been a shift, even just in the presentations that we're doing following this to introduce the product. And, I think the thing that we really got away from that is, to me, so significant about these patches, about the X39 specifically, is that the first thing that it does is really glow up your energy. It adds so much frequency and energy to your mitochondria that it is that, from that GHK, it is that reboots a third of your genes to a younger, healthier state. And then that environment is where these, what we were calling stem cells, which is a compliance thing now, we can still speak that 100%. We just can't record that necessarily or write that down, because we just don't want to get shut down because it's so effective and the company's growing so fast. We're just trying to be extra compliant to not raise too much attention, but it's hard not to. So when we talk about this energy frequency jump and what that does to the environment of the body, and what that does to these, what I'm calling universal pluripotent cells, these cells that can become anything in the body to heal, regenerate, repair, rebuild, the whole thing, that's just an aspect of what happens when you get this glow up. So if we can start to shift the conversation more to this reboot, to this energy influx that changes the entire epigenetics, like the environment that we live in, that we swim in, that our cells now can pull from with all this new voltage, it really does raise your entire frequency, and that changes everything. And the most important pieces that we notice are these repairing and regenerating pluripotent cells. So I think it's just really important that, in a one-to-one conversation, we can express what they are, of course, but from a compliance standpoint, we just need to watch out on writing and video and things like that. Right now, we're still okay to be able to share it a little bit, but I'm really trying to shift the conversation and have people recognize what's actually happening that's activating those cells to begin with, because it's so much greater than just those cells. And we've really kind of pigeonholed it because it's such a hot topic, So expand your mind about it and start to look at some of the other things I teach about around the nervous system, or how that can change our relationship. So many other things. Tune into the next call and you'll start to kind of see what I'm talking about. It's so much more than just that repair. And that also changes the expectations that people have on the product. And we can tap on that later. Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot, Alex, but just if someone comes up to you, they notice that you're wearing a patch, and they say to you, "Hey, what is that? What are you wearing?" What's your response to them?
I call it my power patch.
Yeah.
It kind of goes with my business brand anyway. I'm like, this is my power patch. This thing's reset, like a third of my genes gave me so much energy and frequency, and now I can heal my own self like I'm supposed to, like my body's supposed to. Boom. Yeah. That's it.
Exactly. And I know, Melissa, you have a very similar one, but what if someone asks you about it? What do you say?
This is where I'm rewiring, because I used to say something else. But now I'll just say it depends on the context and where I am, and then what my intuition is guiding me in that moment of interaction. But I got this one from Dr. Stacy, she at the convention, she's like, "This is my longevity patch." I'm like, "Oh, I just love that." So, and then you can touch on, this is my longevity patch. It helps me feel my best, yeah. Or I'll say, it depends. If I'm at the gym and someone asks me about the patch, I'll say, "Oh, this is my patch that helps boost my energy or helps me recover so much quicker." Or, those are the kinds of things that I say. It's just it's a patch that helps the flow of energy circulate freely in my body. That depends on who I'm talking to. I won't drop that with just anybody. But yeah, I think it's a good idea from my perspective to just be playful with it and have fun with it.
Yeah. Yes. I'd like to add a little something here. Here we go. Hang on to your seats. No, I'm just kidding. I think setting up expectation begins the moment we open our mouth. Okay. So I love testimony. I think personal testimony is amazing. What this did for you is incredible, but know that everything that comes out of your mouth is going to be expected by that person as a result. So again, if you're not matching it up to something that they're looking for, you might say, hey, my pain went away from my knee. If you were talking to me, I'd be like, good for you. I don't have pain. So it wouldn't tune in for me. So if you're going to share a personal testimony, make sure it's relative to their needs, perhaps, if you want that to really land. Or they might just not think it's for them. I mean, it can almost like shut a door. So the come from on how to share the patch and what it's doing, or like what it is, leave it as open as and curious and exciting as possible. Like infuse your energy and enthusiasm into whatever you decide to say, but make sure that it's open-ended enough that when they ask more questions, you can start to tailor and flip the conversation into questions and not into a monologue, because we can't help people unless we know what they're looking for, right? So if I say it's a power patch and it just, it helps me to repair and regenerate and do all these amazing things, then they're going to be like, wow, that's really cool. I'm going to turn that around and say, what's going on for you? What's happening in your life? Could you use a glow up? I'd love to sample this for you. If it seems like it makes sense, tell me what's up for you. Or just, turn that conversation into questions, use your 2 ears, shut the one mouth, and then start taking notes in your mind. How can I position this in such a way that it will make sense to them? And maybe I have my own personal testimony. If not, we got a ton of science. And that's what I rely on a lot. So.
And I think that's a huge point that you just made there. And I think a lot of people think that they have to have the experience and the know-how of the science. But I think you hit it on the head there, is you have your statement that you say about the patch, and then you ask them, do you think this would be right for you? Or do you think this might be effective in your life? And you just start asking them questions to see where they're at, see if they're having trouble recovering or sleeping or in pain.
Yeah, where could you use a glow up in your life? Well, I'll tell you exactly what's going on.
Who doesn't need a glow up? I love it. Perfect. This is probably a little bit more relevant for you, Melissa, because I know this has been coming at you. Is people have been feeling a little bit uncomfortable when it comes to pricing. Obviously, there's a conversion rate and there's different exchange rate in Canada. So, how are you dealing with people when they're hearing about the prices in American and then there's a conversion to Canadian?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple things to that. I'll speak to an energetic piece and then I'll speak to a practical piece. So when it comes to, I'll speak energetically first. If we are feeling like it's expensive or it's like a stretch, then that's the energy that we're holding, and that's what's going to come across to other people. But if we can look at, our own blocks around that and seeing that this is a beautiful investment, you can chalk it up to a latte a day is how I say it to people. Like that's what it's like equivalent to. But to look at your own stories around that in yourself and clear that and see that it's an investment into your health. And it's actually, to me, that's how I see it. And then I will then carry that energy and project that out and end up attracting different people to me. So that's the way that I see it in my mind, and the energy that I carry and hold with that when I speak and share about the investment, the actual price. The second part would be that piece that I mentioned, that it breaks down to be about a latte a day. So you're kind of looking at like, where else do you spend your money on different things throughout the day, like little things. And then the third way that I heard Onyx Cole actually say this, and I loved it. And she goes, I think you're worth it, don't you? That piece of like, investing in yourself. So that's how I would look at it. Alix, if you have anything you wanted to add to that around the price or the investment of the patches.
Yeah, I really like comparisons as well. I mean, the cost of a tank of gas, a meal out these days is just completely outrageous. I mean, outrageous. People are drinking alcohol to numb out the things that we can help correct, even just in the nervous system. People are drinking instead of dealing with their stuff because they can't deal with their stuff. So I think it really is, it's relative to what's relative to that person. So having kind of an arsenal of things that you can compare it to. What does it cost to eat out? What does it cost to actually have illness in your, to take tons of supplements? What if you could actually reduce some of your supplements? So in some ways we can help them to see what they can save by doing this, and then what they can change that they're doing, that they could do this instead. But again, your understanding of the value of this and the value of your health, and that you can get such a glow up with one patch that systemically and quantum, in a quantum way, can change your entire health and well-being, that can change your relationship, like everything. That's huge. The other part of this is we have a business opportunity. So like, grab 4 friends, all do it together, share your testimonies as you grow and build your belief and learn, and get your products paid for. Everybody grab 4 and help them get started on a silver pack, sample out to a few more, and get on an auto ship. We would be managers all over, and which would turn into directors, into senior directors, and the whole thing. It's just what happens. But if people don't have that seed planted, oh, if I don't think I can afford it, I can make it that I can afford it, because the value is that great. It is that worth it. And there is an opportunity here for that. And I love brand partnership as the way that we're putting this now, because who isn't a brand partner? What influencer out there doesn't partner with a brand? They need to make money for putting out their content and their love in the world. And so why wouldn't they partner with products that they love and that they care for? So we don't have any fear around bringing up this incredible opportunity to people, because it is incredible, and anybody can afford it if you believe in it.
Yeah, for sure. I have a question from Eilina, and this is actually is similar to one of the questions we had from last week. She's just asking about advice on timing for follow-up, how to follow up, and how should you ask it, and what should you say?
Melissa, do you want to tackle this one first? You want me to go?
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay. Follow up. Okay. Well, there's a philosophy behind this too. It's a little bit of a leadership one. And it could be based on my personality, because some people are a little bit more responders than direct. And I'm very direct. I like to lead people into what their experience is going to be. I just make it really easy. And I say, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to send you a couple of patches, or I'm going to send you this information, or I'm going to put this patch on you. And while you're wearing it and you're getting a 24 to 48 hour reboot, I want you to learn about it. And I will get back with you in a couple of days and see if you're ready to get started. We can talk about the right way to get going. And it's going to blow your mind. Okay. It's just like, I just lead the way, and people follow people who know where they're going, right? The leadership is earned. And so when you actually lead somebody and let them know, and it's not a question and it's not timid, it's, I'm going to do this. So then a couple days later, of course, I put that in my calendar. I call them back, and if I don't hear back from them, I'm going to say, oh, darn it, I missed you. I promised to call you back, so I'll give you another try tomorrow, unless you want to ping me back and let me know a really good time, something like that. If I do it another time, if they aren't on that call, I do it again. I say, listen, I'm not giving up on you. I just want to make sure you get the information to make an informed decision for yourself. That is my job. And I'm so glad the person who followed up with me didn't give up on me. Talk to you soon. Hang up again. And so just know that it can be 5 to 7 times doing that. But if I've told them in the beginning that my job is to make sure they have informed to make a decision, and then I'm there to answer their questions, I'm not attached to the outcome at all. I'm only attached to them getting the information that they need, and that I'm not going to give up on them. I've actually made a call many, many times. One of those humble calls where I'm like, okay, I'm starting to tell myself stories, but I know that you're not avoiding me. You're probably busy. So sorry, I missed you again. I'll give you a try. So it lightens the mood. It makes it easier for me to do. But when you really master that follow-up, I'm telling you, you're not going to feel uncomfortable, because you're serving them. You literally are making sure they're able to make an informed decision. And it only hurts when you're attached to an outcome. And as Melissa said on our last week's call that we didn't do live like this, she said, just go wide. I think it was that she was like, I just go as wide as possible. I just keep sharing with as many people as possible, so I don't hone in on the 1 or 2 or 3 where I do become attached to the outcome. So, and that's another thing, is just, yes, I say go grab 4 friends. It might take 15 friends to get your 4, but if you started with at least a silver pack, you'll have enough patches to be able to share with those people that you love and follow through. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll piggyback. I love all of that. And I've had some of my team say to me, like, how do I feel like I'm bothering people? And I think that's where it's important to come back to your why, and that feeling and being in that energy of being of service, because you're sharing something that is dear to you, that feels in alignment for you. So you're not bothering somebody. You're following up. People have tons of stuff going on in their life. You're simply showing them the door, giving them the best chance and best opportunity to go ahead and make their own decision. But it's not bothering when you're showing them something that, hey, look over here. And the other thing I'll add that has been a really amazing thing, a powerful skill, is if someone's like, yeah, I'm up to jump on a call with you or put an order through, or, because Alix is actually my sponsor, and she has coached me to get people on a call and then sign them up yourself. So that little piece there with the follow-up is give people, don't just leave it open-ended, like, let me know when you're free, let me know when you're ready, to actually give them an option. Say, hey, okay, let's jump on a call. Are you free tomorrow at 12 o'clock? Maybe give 1 or 2 time options. That way people like to answer yes or no, or this or that. If you leave it open-ended, they may never come back. So that has been really powerful in getting somebody on a call, so you can actually be there to answer their questions and then get them through, sign them up, and walk them through the entire process. And then from that, more things can open up from being on a call with someone. So that's my input there.
Yeah. And I want to add something to that. And something was posted also about calling or texting. And there's really a combination in this. And I've kind of gone back and forth with a few newer folks that, they love to use text, and they're like, well, everybody's so busy, nobody has time to get on a call and so on. Well, you're not going to get an energy transfer that's nearly the same on text versus a call. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll craft a text if I'm ready to reach out for a first time. And then I just let them know, hey, I really want to send some information off your way, but it's important that I chat with you just for a couple of minutes and connect first. I thought of you because of this, but I don't want to send you information that you don't want. So I'm going to give you a shot. I'll give you a shot right now. Otherwise, just get back with me if we miss each other, and let me know when's a better time. And then I'll do that. And then from there, I have an open invitation to just call. And when I get on the phone call, I'm saying literally, listen, I only have a couple of minutes because I don't want to take too much of your time. And I just wanted to see if I can get this to you, if it makes sense to you, because I got really excited. I thought of you because, and I fill in the blanks, why I thought of them, tell me what's going on. And I would love to get this off to you. I don't mean to I don't want to be rushing, but I also don't want to get into an hour-long conversation when I'm, just trying to put something out there. I try to get the information about X39 to them quickly. And I'm upfront about it. I'm not beating around the bush and being like, tell me how you're doing, da, 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 da. So I just wanted to share, I tell them right up front, I'm direct. I just say, there's something I really want to share with you. But before I do, tell me what's going on, what's happening here, just a few minutes, so that I can at least see if this is something I want to send. I know that's a lot of stuff there, but it makes such a difference when you're honest, you're direct, and you're letting them know that I care about you. I'm thinking about you. I wanted to send this, but I also don't want to send it just to blast your hair back. It's not about me. So yeah. And then you just turn it right into questions. Again, close the mouth, open the ears, and see how you might be able to serve them. So it's a combination between the text and the phone. But I think nothing is more genuine than a voice that really can come through between the two. Yeah.
And last point on that, and I think Melissa actually does this really well because I hear her all day long. There's kind of this combination between text and voice, and it's she leaves voice notes for people all day long, and it's such an amazing way just to kind of communicate with people because there's no one interrupting anybody, and she can just speak, right? So I'll leave it there. We're getting a lot of questions, so I just want to make sure that we can address them. So Gary just asked, is there any recommendations with the patches and pregnancy? And I think you've answered this before, Alix, so I'll toss this over to you. Okay.
Yeah, just real quickly, we can't do any studies at all in pregnant women. It's illegal in the United States, probably worldwide. And so that really is a personal call. Personally, because we're not injecting large amounts or playing God with our bodies and putting in foreign substances, we're just adding frequency. Personally, I would make the choice 100% to add frequency to the creating my baby. But again, it's a total personal choice, and there's no stance on the company except we don't study on and we don't test on this. And so it's up to you and your doctor.
Yeah. And I'll add what I always do in addition to what Alix said is I tell people, trust your intuition. If you're a mother to me, the mother will always know what's best. So trust your intuition for anyone that resonates.
Yeah. Belief is everything. Placebo is everything as well.
Kimberly is asking, just on the business side, when you're first meeting with somebody, Um, how many patches do you usually give? And then, the
Oh,
follow-up, like, do you follow up in 3 days? Like, just
yeah,
what's your individual process for both of you? I know we kind of touched on this, but what's your patch,
good.
generosity, and how long do you kind of follow? How long does it take to follow up?
Okay, it's not about generosity. Let me just tell you that right now. Okay. If you give 5 patches, they're going to expect to feel something. I promise you, the more patches you give, the more they're going to expect to feel something. I set people up right from the beginning and I say, I don't know if you're going to feel this. Most people don't. I give 2 patches now. I used to give 3 to 5. I give 2 patches. Why 2? Because number one, I can sample more people. It's more duplicable. People don't feel like they have to invest as much when they want to sample. People do what you do. So if somebody becomes a rep, or a brand partner, they're going to remember you gave them 2 patches. Well, the story I say with those 2 patches is in 24 to 48 hours, I am gifting you a reboot, a true genome reboot. And I can't wait to see if you feel anything. I don't know, but I can't wait to just gift that to you while you learn about it. So I'm going to follow up with you in a couple of days. Here's the thing. There's a law of reciprocity in here, right? You're giving something to somebody and they want to reciprocate in a way. And it's not like it's a game. I'm not doing that to be manipulative. It's just what happens. I am investing in that person, my belief in the product, the gift of the reboot, and the curiosity to see how they feel when they learn the information and how it might be able to serve them further. But I know that I'm giving them something of tremendous value for 2 days, whether it's the dollar amount or not. And then I can follow up much quicker while it's exciting, and it just keeps things moving really fast.
Yeah. And I know you also, Alex, you give that piece of paper, right? You suggest that they track in those 2 days. Yeah.
Oh, in the first 2 days, I don't necessarily need them to track. Not until they order. Once they order,
Right.
Then I do want them to track for sure. For
Right.
sure. Yeah.
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 And Melissa, I know you kind of have what's your amount that you give to people?
I'm the one that was generous and then realized like I'm just giving. So I learned on last week's call that Alix actually does the 2, so I'm going to be scaling back. But what I've noticed is some of the people, I do like to follow up the next day and just check in. Hey, just a friendly courtesy reminder. Did you put your patch on? Because most people are like, oh, I forgot. So, and then we hear often in this community, like piggyback it to something that you do, on a habit you already have, perhaps like brushing your teeth. Put the sleeve right by your toothbrush. That's what I'll say, or put a reminder. Or for me, now you don't have to do this, but for some people, I will text them. Like I will text them in the morning. Hey, great morning. Don't forget to put your patch on. And then at night I know I'm not suggesting people to do that, but I have done that. And it's been really nice to develop that conversation, but it does take time. But just piggyback it to a habit that you already have.
Nice.
Yep. I think expectation is just real quick. That expectation is everything. Yeah. It's everything. And I think it's one of the biggest stops of getting started is that we give people, oh, here, try it. How do you try a reboot? Like it just happens, right? There's nothing to try. You're getting this thing and it's going to do this in your body. That's what the science shows. So what are you trying? You're just putting it on. You're just trying to remember to put it on and learning about what's happening in your body. And so that in and of itself changes the expectation. And so even when somebody does get started, it's the same thing. If they're expecting a specific result and there's 50 different things that can happen or infinite number of things that can happen, we have to set them up to be looking for other things and to not expect that just because that's the one loudest thing in their conscious mind that's happening in their body, that there's not a louder thing that's happening in their body that the body wants to go to work on first. And so when you really understand that and you lay out the proper expectation of that, the very first step we're doing when we're sampling people or getting them just started is we're rebooting the system. We're giving it a nice glow up of energy and frequency. It's going to start activating these dormant cells, then down the road producing more of these pluripotent cells. And I can't wait to see how it shows up with you. It's such a fun journey.
I think one of the biggest lessons, just even talking with you, Alex, is just one, the awareness of the language you use. Like you are setting an intention every time you're speaking with somebody. You're not, and I'm not too sure if everyone's aware of it. She's not speaking in a way where she's kind of tiptoeing around somebody. She's articulating, like this is going straight to the point. And I kind of challenge everybody to listen to how you speak to people. If you're kind of tiptoeing around it or concerned, that's the energy that you're sharing with these people. But if you're really in this place of service and you know that you're going to be helping these people, it comes from a completely different place, right? And then there's no attachment, right? Hey, I'm here to serve you. If it doesn't end up being for you, I'm not attached to it. If it is, perfect. This is great. This is, you're going to be able to help yourself and others. So
Brilliant.
Awesome. Jill had a question for you, Melissa. She just wanted to know when you first started when you first started using the patches, and what were some of the things that you kind of started to feel when you were using them?
Oh, personally, I felt the shifts right away. I felt like mental fog cleared and I felt really focused. At the time I was surfing, and I don't surf super often, and I just noticed that I wasn't sore after a surf session, which was huge for me. The recovery was huge. And then I started sharing right away. Right away. As soon as I could get my hands on it in Canada, I reached out to some of my closest people all around me, friends, family, and I said, hey, I am this amazing company and product has landed in my sphere and in my orbit, and I'm so excited about it. It feels really aligned. I feel really lit up by it. I'd love to share more about it with you. And they're all like, yeah, tell me more. And then I'd share about it and went from there. So I started right away because I wanted to harness the energy of excitement and the energy that I was feeling so lit up by it that I ran with it. And I knew it felt right. So yeah.
Yeah, there are two ways to go about it like that too. I love that. You can ride your enthusiasm 100% and go out like, guns a-blazing because you're excited and it feels aligned to you, and you think of people for that reason. Like, I thought of you because, you guys write that down. I thought of you because, fill in the blank before you call or reach out to anyone. Why did you think of them? That immediately sets it up into a heart of service. But then there's others that you don't really know why. You just want to know what's going on and you want to reach out to to more people. And it's very much tied to your own belief. It's very much tied to your own why and your level of confidence and so on. So don't judge yourself. Be wherever you are with it and just continue to build your own belief and understanding, get plugged in and take down notes. And as you start to build more and more of that, then that enthusiasm will grow with you. And then you will be able to make calls like that, like Melissa just said. And like, this just felt so good and so aligned. I'm all in. And I thought of you because I thought you would be an incredible partner to work with, to play with. Yeah.
And Cindy actually has a question. I think this kind of ties into it. And I think you guys can both expand on this, but she was just wanting to know the brand partner option, which one is the best to build a business? And it says PC plus program is really attractive because of the monthly samples, swag, and a 3-month money back guarantee. Can you talk to me through this sticking with the business building? So yeah, I think she's just looking to figure out what's the best option. And I think sometimes, and I know both of you guys, when you started it, you jumped right in and went all the way to diamond, right? And there's kind of a philosophy around that. So maybe you can talk about the best brand partner options, and then all the way up to what are the advantages of actually starting with the diamond.
Mm-hmm. I can go, but if you have something for
you start off, Alix. Yeah.
Okay. I just don't do the preferred customer program. I think it's confusing. And I think that the more samples, the more like, okay, what's this? Well, how do I wear that? Well, what if I'm wearing this and that? And it's like, it's wonderful. You can get some free product, but I see more value in simplicity, honestly. So I offer, you can become a customer. I don't even go to preferred customer because of, and this is just me. Like, it's not that it's not a great program. I think it's a beautiful program. But for me, it's just confusing. Too many things to choose. And I like simple. So I say you can be a customer for $150 a month. If you just want to try it out for a month, you have 90 days to try it. That's awesome. Or you can get 3 for the price of 2. as a silver pack. It's a wholesale account. It's actually brand partnership, but you don't have to share with other people. The nice part is that as you start to, and this is where I start to breathe in my belief and my directness, right? As you start to experience it, you're going to start sharing. I promise you, you're going to start telling people about it. So if you get the silver pack, you're getting 3 for the price of 2. You're set up to share with your sister and your mom and your best friend, and maybe your spouse, if he's in a, he's being nice. I'm just kidding. And I'm going to send you a few of my little sampling envelopes so you can do that confidently. And they can call me. And if they decide to order, we'll have a different conversation. So that's like a middle step to kind of step people into potentially being a brand partner, which is really the same type of an account, just becoming active or activating and starting to move up and decide to do this. They don't have to. I'm not attached to that, but if I set them up with a wholesale account, I can still service them like a customer, but they're set up also with my being able to drip more and more information. I don't like that word. It sounds like torture. To be able to feed and water with more education and more pieces and inviting them to more calls. They're already set up to be able to make money. And you never know what's going to have somebody call and say, I just can't afford it anymore. And then I'm like, but wait a second, you're already a partner. You've already been qualified. We've got all these points sitting here. Let me show you how you can get these for free. Right. So that's why I love getting people just straight into the marketing plan into my structure, because it can still act like a customer, get great pricing and not be confused and keep their mind focused, And then, of course, the business building, going to diamond is always I always talk about the diamond because, again, if somebody has that kind of vision, if they have a network, if they've done something like this before, or they just believe in it that much and they want to go for it, or they have a storefront, I'm 100% going to go straight for diamond and say, if you can afford this and this is comfortable for you, it's hands down the best deal. And even some couples, I'll put them in as a diamond, even though they just want it wholesale because they want to get the best pricing for the 2 of them. And they can do that for 8.5 months as a diamond. And they'll have all this extra product there. And then I'm immediately saying, do you want me to let me just send you some stuff you can send off to some of your friends since you have so much product. So anyway, that's my long answer.
I think Alex covered
it.
Sorry.
No, please.
I hope that answered.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Kimberly asked, is LifeWave a member of DSA? I'm not too sure what DSA is.
It is. Direct Selling Alliance. Yes, we are.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And just quick, so everyone knows, what would be the advantage of being part of DSA?
Oh, I don't really know. It's a good question.
Okay. Yeah.
Didn't matter to me, but DSA, it's kind of like just another stamp of approval that, we're doing things in well, and there's a lot of other companies that get the stamp of approval from the Direct Selling Association board. So
perfect. Okay, guys, we have about time for one more question, but keep on throwing your questions in the chat. I'll grab them so we have them for next week. Where do we have here? Lillian, what about people that we don't know that well? How can we get a place that we ask about questions, how they feel, and how do we get to a place where we can ask strangers how they feel or how they're doing in generally, kind of thing. So when you guys connect with strangers, how do you approach it?
Mm-hmm.
Melissa, do you want to take this one?
Oh, no, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're like, yield. How do I deal with it? It's so completely in the moment, quite frankly. Yeah. It really, really is, because the context of why I even brought it up in the first place really is what will inform me. So it's like if somebody just notices the patch and like, did something happen? Like, what's that? What is that? I'll say, oh, this is my power patch. This is what, reboots my energy and helps my body to heal and act optimally, and depending on how they answer, how they look at that, like, oh, if there's any curiosity in their voice or in their eyes or in their energy, which I can pick up on, then I just will lean right into that and just say, does that sound interesting to you? Like, do you have anything that's like loud going on in your body that you'd like to have be better? Or something like that. Like, is there something screaming, that you would like to get a glow up on in your body? I mean, glow up, you can use those, whatever terminology works for you. If there's something in your body that you could change, what would jump out? Now, that wouldn't be the first thing I'd say. It sounds a little scripted, but that's the energy of it, is if there's something that could be changed. Tell me what it is. That's really what I'm trying to get out of them. It's pretty exciting though. When you start to just tune in and again, listen with service. I can't offer them something unless I know that there's something that they might want. Right. So,
and the great thing about talking with strangers is you're not going to lose anything. I always think it's even better to practice with people that you don't know, because for you, there's no expectations there. It's so different when you're talking to a family member or a friend, but a total stranger, it's so much easier because there's really no expectations at the end of the day. So, guys, I'm going to kind of wrap it up there because I know we're mindful for time. Just a reminder again, Alix is doing a call at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. So we're going to give her time to get ready for that one. But if you do have people, go ahead, Alix.
Yeah, I was just going to say, get on the phone. You got 15 minutes to call a whole bunch of people and text a bunch of people. Send them the flyer. We're going to be talking about X39, the product, the movement. And I got a lot of energy right now. So now's blitz time. Everybody on the call. Go, go, go.
Thank you guys, both Melissa and Alix. I really appreciate it. And thank you to the community for joining us tonight. We really want to build this to be a place where we can support you guys. You guys have questions, we get them answered, and you really feel like you're building this business with more than just yourself. So thanks for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. And be on that call today.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much for your attention. All right. Thank you too also so much for this. Appreciate it. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Oh, let me just say this too. Stay on the call. The Zoom's going to stay open. Just so you know, Zoom's staying open. I'm actually going to get off the screen. They're just going to shut off the live stream. So they're going to restart the live stream so that we have two different recordings for the two different events. But we'll go ahead and leave the Zoom open if you need to take a little break. But honestly, get on the phone. Now's the time. All right. Bye, y'all.